wacko, insane, and total madman of a BLM supporter storms off after Charlie Kirk decimates him with facts and logic. Guys, this is gonna be a fun one. I'm not kidding about the storm off, by the way. The dude is totally loop-de-loop and crazy. You'll see what I mean in a sec. So we're gonna get right into it. But first, everybody, please make sure you like our video, share it around, and subscribe to the Resist the Mainstream YouTube channel. Why subscribe? So we can keep bringing you more triggered madman storming off stage at Charlie Kirk events and other things as well. That's why. I'm your host, Darian. Let's get right into the video.
All right, so I've been watching this for some 20 odd years, oh, ma'am, you've been doing it forever. Welcome to the First Amendment. I fought for it.
Sir, can you just stay focused on me?
Taxpayer paid jacket.
Sir.
Thank you, I brought it overseas.
All right, sir, just ask me the question.
So what is it about conservatives and this whole racism thing? Like, you guys are always just saying that it's either not a thing or it's, just not in any of the institutions or the police department, but it seems that over the past 18 years, we've had several race riots, and the biggest one being in 2020. So it's like, how are we still denying segregation in a city where we can clearly see what fucking neighborhoods are white, which ones are black, which ones are Latino, and we know how we got there. So it's like, what is it with conservatives and admitting that there's a problem and not addressing it? Because it seems like you guys want to be obsessed with, oh, the gender thing or the racism thing, and then you guys say, oh, it's not here, it's not a big problem, but why are millions of people rioting every couple of years?
Millions.
So let me ask you a question.
We can say that it's Democrats and shit, right?
Well, let me ask you a question. So what do you think is a bigger problem facing America? Single fatherhood or racism?
Racism, by far. That's how
Can you say that? Say that in the microphone.
Racism, by far, because racism gets people killed, not single fatherhood.
Well, no, a single motherhood. Let me be more specific. So single moms or fathers leaving the home, you think is a bigger problem than racism?
No, sir. I'm gonna repeat that one again for you. I think racism is a bigger problem than fathers being outside of the home. However, I do see fathers not being in the home is a problem.
Let's make sure we're defining our terms. How would you define racism then?
Racism is a system of oppression used by a certain group using prejudice, institutional power, and it's situated by the media, government, and all these other institutions.
So give me an example of one thing you as a black man cannot do that I as a white man can do in America.
Got you. Okay, so about 2 weeks ago, right, I went to a DeSantis rally. Got my ticket, all that good bullshit. Been to a million different, rallies of a kind, whether, I was a conservative at the time or whether I was a liberal, right? I know.
Yeah, that guy was once a conservative. Right, sure.
As a black person, I am far more likely to be arrested for expressing my view, whether I'm a conservative or a liberal. And I've done it on both sides. And, oh yes, I was arrested.
You were probably being a jerk, that's why you were arrested.
And that's the best part, right? That's the best part. I wasn't even being a jerk. And the courts found our beloved courts.
Let me make sure I understand this. So you think the bigger problem than fathers not being in the home is a abstract conspiracy theory that you have that hecklers and jerks at political events are arrested because of the color of their skin? That's the best definition.
Well, don't forget, Charlie, as he said earlier, millions of people are rioting in the streets because of racism. Millions? Yeah, complete lie, by the way. That was in the beginning of the video, but just had to bring that up.
Institutional racism.
No, that's not my definition on racism. I did tell you what my definition.
Give me an example of something a white man like me can do that a black man like you can't do. Because guess what? If I showed up at a DeSantis event and started heckling, I'd be kicked out and arrested.
No, you would not. No, in fact, I even have evidence.
You know how I know that's true? Most of the hecklers are how I know white suburban kids from Highland Park, and they're arrested a lot more. Actually, when you see the mugshots. Yeah.
Oh, so white kids are arrested a lot more. Could that possibly be? Could that possibly be?
Can you talk into the mic?
And I'm just guessing here. Could it possibly be that white people are arrested more because you have a higher population and therefore by proximity you are more like, because it's math, it's basic math. I know we hate math. I know we hate it, but I passed it. Unlike y'all.
You notice he totally contradicts himself because our friend over here, whatever you want to call him with his little nose ring, was just saying that, oh, well, you as a white man, you won't get arrested at the rally, but I did. Then Charlie right after says, as you just heard, there are whites getting arrested. Oh, well, it's because there are more of them. Which one is it, bro? It's clearly a very dishonest argument.
Question. How does racism contribute to black on black crime in Chicago? How is white people to blame for that?
Oh, actually, matter of fact, that's actually a whole other issue. So let's talk about, so you want to talk about intracommunal violence as it pertains to
so what does the white man have to do with that?
Oh, and that's a great thing. I love the red herring that you threw in there.
No,
because, hey, intracommunal violence is proximal.
So it's not a red herring. The point is you have way more black people killing black people than whites. It's not even close. And if you want to talk about racism, more black people kill white people than the other way around. That's also not even close. So again, it begs the question, where is this racism, this white supremacy boogeyman that this guy is so upset about? Where is it? Because I'm not seeing any evidence.
Right? So when we have segregation and we got races sitting in one area and you got another race in another area. Now, we never ask white people, why is white on white crime so high with white people, and never, but instead we focus on black people.
Yeah, so out of the 530 murders in Chicago of the last year, how many were black on black crime?
Hey, I wasn't looking. But you know what I
Yeah,
do know?
well
But
over
you know,
420 of them were black on black gang-related crimes.
Sure.
How is that
Sure.
racism to blame for that?
Let's talk. So now, are we going to talk about over-policing?
I'm sorry, sir. You're kind of demonstrating you can't answer the question.
Would you like to talk about? I mean, we can't talk about it. We can.
This over-policing hoax, it's incredible that people still bring it up. We literally had the left defund the police in New York City, Baltimore, Chicago, and plenty of other major cities. So they're literally weakening police and giving them less resources. And we're gonna say, oh, well, they're over-policing, there's too much policing. What are you talking about? We're letting criminals out after they stab people. That's literally going on in New York City right now. It's such a lie, and it gets even more apparent what a fabrication it is people just open their eyes and look at the world around them.
Are you ready to address it, though?
Well,
are you ready to address it?
Yeah.
Because we can talk about talk black on black crime, but we need to talk about it as it pertains. We need to.
Oh man.
Okay, let's talk about it, sis. I'm ready to talk about it.
All right, hold on. So let me just narrow this down. So let me just say this, okay?
All right.
So if you were to rank the 100 biggest problems in America,
yeah.
The fact that I know we're not a racist country is the best example you have. Is
okay,
some
so you know we're not a
story
racist
of you getting
country
kicked out of a DeSantis rally. If we were a racist country, you'd say, Charlie, I can't go in a convenience store. Charlie, I can't go into school. No, we actually live in such a amazingly decent country that whoa.
Don't.
Let's not do that. Okay.
All I did.
All right.
All I did was speak.
You're trying to pull out.
Mostly peaceful, everybody. Mostly peaceful, okay?
I didn't lay hands on you. I
right.
I got witnesses. I did not touch you. No.
All right.
I touched the mic.
We're going to wrap this one up, but let me just say this.
We got racism we got racism all over the U.S. We just had a race riot 3 years ago.
Okay, so let's
in
talk
2020.
Wait, hold on.
And, oh my God! And then we had all 50 states.
This argument of, well, we had race riots and we had terrorists going and doing terrible things, therefore racism exists. What? Did this guy forget that Vice President Kamala Harris, she was running at the time, but she literally put up a bail fund for the Black Lives Matter terrorists to help get them out of prison. And they got convicted at exceedingly low rates for the crimes they committed. So where's the racism? Specifically the racism against black people, because that's what the obvious premise is that this guy has established. Where is it? I'm not seeing it.
Us 18 countries, but don't worry, Alex.
Wait, so by race riots, you mean mass looting of big screen TVs? Let me tell you, it is not an argument in your favor that we're a racist country because blacks decide to start burning down Wendy's and stealing stuff. That's called criminality.
Actually, it is, because you're not even looking as to why it happened. You're not even looking as to why it happened. And that's cool. You know, we can definitely play obtuse on the whole issue. Yeah, black people were burning it down. Why? Racism was a big issue, and we can pretend that it's not a big issue, but hey, if you don't want to, then that's just called being obtuse. And that's why I asked you.
Can you imagine if I just chucked a firebomb on my neighbor's house and then said, well, he was racist, racism made me do it. Like, what? I mean, that's what this guy is justifying here. You're talking about burning down property, and he's like, well, racism caused it. That's just sick. It really is.
I asked you, why did you have such a big problem with talking about racism? You want to claim that it's not there, and you can say all you want, but that still doesn't prove, that still does not.
If you want to talk about racism that could be proven, let me give you some examples of racism that could be proven. How about affirmative action at this college that discriminates against Asian students and white students? How about affirmative action hiring practices in the federal government? We are such a decent, non-racist country. The best example that he has is to show that he was mistreated. And if he acted like this at the DeSantis event, I can see why he was kicked out of the DeSantis event. Next question.
Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed that exchange. Obviously, kind of awful and terrible to see, but kind of funny too. I know I got a chuckle out of it, so I hope you guys did as well. And with that in mind, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Please be sure to comment below. Let us know what you liked, what you want to see soon, and we'll catch you guys soon. Thanks, and God bless.